Hello, Vermeer Southeast. I'm Scott Coley, and I'm here today to introduce Monte Erritt, our new VP of Employee Development. Congratulations, Monte.
Thank you so much.
Monte, for those that don't know you, why don't you give us a brief history of your time here at VSE?
All right. Well, I'm an Iowa farm kid, so I grew up in Iowa and went to the University of Northern Iowa and graduated in '95. So during that time frame, I actually had started interviewing with Vermeer Southeast, and they'd offered me a position. So a couple months after I got done graduating, moved down south, started in outside sales here in Georgia, and did that for 7 years, and then moved into a sales management role for another 7 or 8 years. Moved into a regional manager from that position, then got involved with director of sales training with the company, then moved into helping and assisting, maybe training in other departments. Went back into regional manager role, and that's kind of led me to where I'm at today in the new employee development role.
Wow, quite a journey. Monte, what is it about the employee development role that you're most passionate about?
Yeah, I think what excites me the most is I've always bought into the fact that your company can only grow as much as your people. It will never outgrow the growth of your people. And so for us to really, Vermeer Southeast is doubling down on that philosophy basically. And we're saying, hey, we are all in on that fact. And what's really exciting about it is we're coming off our 3rd record year in a row. So especially kind of turning into an ESOP, what's really cool is think, man, what's the top? What's the limit with that? And so just kind of the vision of, hey, man, where can we all take this thing when we really start getting intentional about investing into our employees and them investing in themselves too? So
that's great. We've spent a lot of time talking about the role and the position, the strategy, and you've even got a steering committee around it to make sure we're hitting all facets of the role. But how do you explain to the folks out there what the focus is of the new position and how it's going to look coming out?
Yes, we've spent a lot of time on that, and really I feel we've done a good job of getting that narrowed down to 3 really key pillars. And the first one being culture, and that one probably excites me the most. I have probably the most passion in that area. A lot of that is because if you think about it, our culture is really a key piece to how we became an ESOP. Todd, Chris, and Jim, when they made that decision to sell in versus selling out, a lot of that was to protect our culture. So the opportunity to do that and it looks in different ways. I mean, from onboarding to who we look for to start there. Who do we look for? Do they match that culture? How do we onboard them? Do they understand what that culture looks like? And then to existing employees, for our existing employees to know, what does that look like? If you really start with the 3 key things we always talk about, with one being obviously our vision to shine with excellence, but how do we use that as a filter, not just how we deal with customers, but how we work with each other. The second one being our core 4, and that's really more of a 20,000 foot level, and what does that look like when you come to work each day by whatever your position is, how does those core 4 interact, and how does that drive your behaviors at work? And then the third one really being the pyramid of success, just talking more about how do we interact with each other, how do we give feedback, how do we accept feedback, what does trust really look like in the workplace, and then at the end of the day, how does all of that really end up in results? And so that's the first key pillar we're going to really focus on. The second one is departmental training, and that's really just, as it says, is by department. So ensuring that employees, no matter what department they're in, parts, sales, service, phone team, administration, whatever your position is within our company, we have a key objective of really being able to have every employee say, hey, yes, I was given the opportunity to, I was invested into, I was given the opportunity to be invested into, and to be able to grow within and master their current positions. So that's the second one, departmental. And then the third one, really being leadership. And Vermeer Southeast has always done a pretty good job in this area, but we want to take it a whole nother level and really breaking out 3 to 4 levels of leadership, identifying leaders, getting even better in that area, identifying who wants to grow in those areas. Then you just have different levels of leadership, from emerging to leading direct reports. So that looks a little different. Then leading leaders, that's a whole different level of leadership. And finally, legacy leadership. So when we start getting in that 5 to 8 year window of moving out, hey, do we have that pipeline filled behind us on leadership? So those are really the 3 key pillars that we're going to focus on.
Yeah, that's excellent. That just sounds like, I think it's very evident when you hear Monte talk, you hear his passion in this position, and it's clear why he's sitting in the seat he is today. I'm fortunate to have 25 plus years working alongside of him and seeing this, and it's the very reason I wanted him sitting in this seat. It is true, you're only as good as your people, And we're all big believers as a leadership team at VSE that to grow your company, you grow your people. And it's a big reason for this move. And I'm excited about where this is headed. Monty, for the employee that's out there today, maybe not sitting in a leadership position, but that individual really wants to grow in their position and grow themselves. What advice would you give them right now?
I think two key things to keep in mind. One is first and foremost, man, just master what you've been given, master what you've been asked to do, and hone those skills and get to where you can really do that position with excellence. And so that's first and foremost. But really, second is, everybody has a different career path. Everybody has different goals and objectives. And we have employees right now that, man, they want to do what they do for the next 30 years, and we need that. So we want employees like that. And so, continue to do what you do and do it well. There's others that have different goals and objectives. Maybe they want to move into a different department. Maybe they do want to move into leadership. To do that, what I would say is, man, making sure you're investing into yourself in those areas as well. I think Vermeer Southeast is showing, hey, we're doubling down on this. We're going to give opportunities for growth and development. So we're going to invest into them, but we also, take that upon yourself and invest into yourself in those areas as well. And I think if you do those two things, I really think good things will happen for you.
That's gold. That's great. Well, I'm excited for you. Congratulations.
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
So
great.
looking forward to it.
Thank you, VSE, and we appreciate you.